Today we're talking about the Accsoon CineView Nano, but also the Accsoon SeeMo. You'll see right here, they're very similar devices, but there are differences too, and we're gonna talk about that today. So introducing what they are is that it allows you to use your mobile phone as a monitor to your camera. So if you're shooting with cameras that have HDMI out, you could actually do HDMI in on both of these here, and this can help transform your phone into a monitor. So how this works is they're almost very identical to each other, as you can see here. But first, let's talk about the Accsoon CineView. The Accsoon CineView right here, you'll see that there's an HDMI in, a 5-volt power out, so you can use this to power your phone while you're using it here. Little caveat there is that it will drain the battery. On the other side is video out and an on and off button. So both of these devices, they don't come with these things. They don't come with a battery. You're gonna need a battery, so you gotta buy that separately. And that's how they're powered. You just snap it on the back right here, and it snaps in. And that's the full setup there. And then you're also gonna need an HDMI adapter. So this is an HDMI standard to an HDMI micro, which is what I use in my Sony cameras. I'm gonna be testing today and showing you a sample today on my A7CR. This is it right here. It has HDMI out, so I'll use this. But we'll talk about that in just a moment. I wanna go back to the key differences between these two devices here. So the way that the Accsoon SeeMo works is you power it on the back with the battery. And then from your camera, you're gonna wanna do HDMI in. So you get that there. You're gonna do USB-C out. So you have USB-C right here for video out. And this then goes to your phone. So let me grab my phone right here. So I've got my iPhone 15 Pro right here. And all I do is I plug this into the bottom. That powers the device from this battery when I turn it on. But the way I fit it in there is I pull that up all the way, I rest this in, and there's a button on the back that'll push this down by pressure. Just like that. It brings it down. Now it holds my phone in there. I've got the signal coming from the Accsoon SeeMo to my phone. Got a battery pack on the back and HDMI out. So from my camera here, sorry, I promise we will talk about the CineView Nano. There's also one more piece that comes with it. There's a 1/4" 20 screw on the bottom. So what we'll do is we'll use this included cold shoe adapter. I'm gonna screw this onto the bottom, just like so. Taking my camera rig here, I'm gonna place this on top. And then you could pull this back to tighten it into this cold shoe mount. And as soon as that's tightened, everything's on there. So you can see there's the battery, the Accsoon SeeMo, my phone, and this HDMI cable. So this HDMI cable, now I could plug this into my A7CR, and there's my rig. So let me power this up. So what you'll have to do is use the free Accsoon SeeMo app. I'm gonna accept here and allow, and there you see the Accsoon SeeMo right there. You could also adjust this for your viewing enjoyment. I'll push it down just so you can see this here. Hopefully it's coming through. But I'm on the SeeMo, so this is the Accsoon SeeMo. Then the next step is the camera's on. I have the adapters flowing through. Let's turn on the SeeMo by pressing and holding the power button right here. And now you'll see the lights are on. And I just felt my phone vibrate because now it's sending power to that as well. So in the app, the Accsoon C app, I have the SeeMo selected. I'm gonna tap on monitor. And now, look at that. There is, well, in the video there's the Accsoon CineView Nano, which I'll talk about in a moment here. But look at that response rate. There it is right there. Hopefully you can see in the recording. I'll move my hand here. There's there is a really, really tiny lag, but it's hardly noticeable. And that's pretty efficient. In this app, you could put on LUTs, you could view histograms, you could actually record locally onto the device, and you could also live stream from your camera here using your phone's connection as well. So the app itself really turns your phone into a monitor, and you're able to monitor everything that you need to, anything from histogram, colors, LUTs. You could squeeze the video if you're shooting with anamorphic lenses. You could put on overlays. You could also get zebras on here to monitor like how bright parts of your image are in case you have your exposure off. It's really cool. There's a lot going on here. And when you record on your phone using this iOS button here, it'll actually record it to your phone. So no more transferring files from your camera to your phone for those quick social media clips that you need. You can actually just record directly there, and you can record both as well. This is just a monitor, so you could just record internally and use this as just a monitor. So now I want to talk about the CineView Nano. Very, very, very Very similar device, but here's how it's different is with the SeeMo, you get a direct connection of the video feed straight to your phone. That's a 1-to-1 ratio. The CineView Nano is a very similar device, but this all works wirelessly. There's no plugging into your phone. There's no plugging into your tablet. It sends the signal out wirelessly and creates a kind of a small network for your devices. And you can use up to 4 devices with it. So I could use my phone and I could use my iPad at the same time to monitor it. That's really cool. But let me show you a closer look at the ports, how they're different. Obviously, the back of it is a little different in this nature, but you get HDMI in on both of them. Also, what's different is that this also now has a 5-volt in. So you could straight up power this with just USB-C. And then on the other side, still got a standard power button, but they replaced this video out. Since there's no video out physically, they replaced it with the 5-volt out that you see also on here on the SeeMo. So those are the 2 differences that you see in this device. And this is really cool. So let's set this up almost the exact same way. I'm going to plug in my power. So we're just going to power it off the battery. And then we'll just do HDMI in my A7C setup. Cold shoe mount this back on. So the cool thing about this is if I push this down, you actually don't need this adapter for your phone if you don't want it. You can just pull that off and have this send just a wireless signal. But since I want to mount it onto my camera setup, so the next step here is let's turn this on by pressing down the power button. So now this will create a private network. So the first step that you have to do is go to your wireless settings and connect. So what that does is it creates an Accsoon private network that you connect up to 4 devices to. And that's after I turn that on there. So you want to go to your Wi-Fi settings in your phone. So now I'm connected to the Accsoon network. I go to the same app, and then inside of this app here, I go to CineView, because this is the CineView Nano. There's a whole CineView series. This one is identical to the SeeMo that we just previously checked out. So we go to CineView, Monitor, and now it populates with the feed from my camera here. So we'll pull this up, get that in there. All of the app features work the exact same way, but as I mentioned, with the direct connection, there's hardly any lag. It's very, very minuscule. I can barely notice it. The feedback on the Accsoon CineView is great because it's very instant, but check out this here. Like, I'll move my hand and see how responsive that is. So it works and functions the same way, but now it's wireless. So this is where it's helpful when you're filming yourself, because since my phone doesn't have to be on there, I could compose my shot, I could set it up, point it to me, and I can monitor it from my phone here and see what I'm seeing. So that's why I like the wireless version, which is the CineView Nano version, because I can set up my own shots and film myself. Okay, the other thing that's cool is now that I have my iPad, not only do I have my phone connected, but now I have my iPad connected as well. As I mentioned, like I mentioned before, is you can connect up to 4 devices simultaneously. So if you have other people that need to monitor the shot, you can. So that's pretty sweet. All the same features in both, but now with a larger screen on an iPad. And as you can see that I'm holding the device with my hand, you could see it on the screen here on my iPad and on my phone on top of my A7CR setup. So if you're looking to film yourself, these are great solutions for that. They both have their pros and cons, right? Like with the SeeMo, you can do a power out and you have that direct connection, so you don't have to rely on a wireless network that's created privately. With the Accsoon CineView Nano, you get that flexibility of being anywhere you want within reasonable distance, right? With the CineView Nano, you can have a distance from your setup and you can film yourself that way, which I think is going to be really, really helpful as more content creators are kind of going down the path of more storytelling and you want to tell your own story. So if you want to learn more about these products, I'll have links in the description below. Again, they will be affiliate links, so if you click on them, I get a kickback from it, so thank you for that. But also it costs you nothing. But there'll be more information on that below in the links below. I'm curious to know your thoughts on this product. Have you used it before? Have you used something like this? Are you pumped? Are you excited as I am? So anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.